Hi, welcome to Bipolar Boxing Picks. This is Nick. We're going to do a quick breakdown of the Junior Makabu versus Badu Jack fight, which is tomorrow night on the undercard. It's the co-main event of the Paul and Fury card, and it's a very tough fight to pick. It's great matchmaking here. I'm glad to see Badu Jack kind of getting his last hurrah here, but man, I just think it's too much. I think Junior Makabu's too big. He's definitely not a better boxer than Badu Jack. He hasn't had a better career than him. He hasn't fought better opponents. In fact, Badu Jack has fought probably seven or eight guys that are better than Junior Makabu, in my opinion, in his career. But they were all at lighter weight classes, and they were all when Badu Jack was pretty much in his prime. Badu Jack's 39 years old right now. He's coming up to cruiserweight, where it's just too big of a jump in my opinion. He looked good at light heavyweight, and he can hang. He hung in there with Adonis Stevenson. Adonis Stevenson's one of the biggest punchers in that division, and that was when Adonis Stevenson was Adonis Stevenson. So, I mean, it's hard watching all those great fights that he had, and then I'm going to pick against him with a guy like Makabu, but it's just simply that weight factor. I don't think Makabu's that great, but he is good enough. He's got enough power that I just don't think Badu Jack's going to be able to get his game plan going because he's going to be worried about that power. He's going to feel it early, and I don't want to say he's going to go into survivor mode, but he is going to be fighting off his back foot a lot in this fight, I believe. And he's going to be fighting in spurts. I think he's going to almost back himself up to the ropes because he thinks he's a cleaner puncher than him and kind of almost invite him in there and land shots when Makabu's throwing, because Makabu does like to throw those, like, he throws punches from the hip. He's very unorthodox, and maybe Badu Jack just thinks he can catch him coming in. Not a bad game plan, but I just don't think he'll be able to knock him out, and I think it might be close early. Badu Jack might look really good early, but I just think he's going to get worn down at 39 years old against a big, strong guy like Makabu. Makabu is a big, strong guy for that weight class, and Badu Jack's pretty much coming up two weight classes from his natural weight. I know he fought at light heavyweight recently, and I think he's fought at cruiserweight before. It's just been his last couple of fights have been against three like unknown fighters. I think yeah, it's pretty much, and he had an 8 rounder in there I saw, and it's like, what are you doing fighting 8 rounds? But it just tells me that he's that weight class isn't for him. I don't think. But I'm glad he's getting his chance for a title because a guy like that deserves it. He had a lot of losses on his career, or like close losses. A lot of wins on his career are close wins too. But he's always been in good fights. It's just you can't give him title shots at light heavyweight or super middleweight. So I can understand his team moving him up to cruiserweight where there's not a lot of good competition there. That's why Makabu's resume doesn't look half as good, a tenth as good as Badu Jack's does. But it's just the fact that that's his weight class. He is the title holder. He's got the WBC belt, which he'll be fighting for. But it would just be if Badu Jack, like, this is his last go around at it. Obviously, he's 39 years old, but he's got a lot of things going for him with the fight being in Saudi Arabia. He is a practicing Muslim. I know he's excited to fight there. It's a big opportunity for him. So I think he is going to give it his all, but I just don't think it's going to be enough. Again, I'm going to take the younger, stronger guy who's used to that weight division. It's pretty much all I'm doing. If this were based purely on boxing ability, I would go Badu Jack, and I would pick him to win by a mile. But that's not the case. That's why there's weight classes in boxing, and to be two weight classes ahead of a guy and be the champion, I can't get myself to go against Makabu. I was thinking Badu Jack earlier in the week, just thinking if he can stay away from Makabu, he would outpoint him, but I actually think that he could do that early, but he's just going to get worn down. His game plan is going to be very tiring, especially, like I always say, like, fighting off your back foot is extremely tiring. he's going to be doing that all night. If not, he's going to get caught early and he's going to get hurt. All those wars that he was in with the super middleweights and stuff like that, you don't want to get into a war with Makabu. Makabu will put you out, and he'll put you out early. So I see more past the victory for Makabu, and the path of least resistance is just probably Makabu by decision, just because Badu Jack is so tough, and he's moving up one weight. Maybe that'll help his punch resistance a little bit, and he'll be able to make it all the way through the fight. But I see Makabu. I'll say 8 rounds to 4, wins a pretty decisive decision. But if it is a close fight, I could see them giving it to Badu Jack just because of where they're fighting. I think he might have fought in Saudi Arabia before, but I don't remember. But there could be some home cooking if they do have a close fight. But just give me Makabu. Makabu is also I heard somebody say it the other day. He's going to end up being the last champion promoted by Don King, because he's the only champion that he promotes right now. So if he wins, I guess it keeps Don King in boxing. So if you're looking for something to root against and you don't like Don King, root for Badu Jack to beat Makabu, and it might get Don King out of the sport. But I hate picking against Badu Jack because I love the guy's career. He's been a fan favorite for the last probably 10 to 12 years. He really has, and he's taken all those tough fights. Like he took what was it? Yeah, so this is a string of fights he had from 2015 to 2019. He had Anthony Durrell when he was undefeated. He had George Groves, Lucien Bute when Lucien Bute was very good, James DeGale, which was a war, Nathan Cleverly, Adonis Stevenson, who was a champion at that time, I believe, Marcus Brown, who's a phenomenal boxer, John Pascal. That was a run that he had. All those fights were back to back to back. I don't think there's anybody in those two divisions who has a tougher resume than that. Now, he won some, he lost some. A lot of the fights were close, but he just never looks bad in a fight. So I love me some Badu Jack, but it's really just a size thing. I've been watching boxing long enough to realize that sometimes a fighter that's not as good but is just naturally bigger is going to beat the guy who's coming up. That guy coming up in weight has a lot of adversity to deal with, and a guy like Makabu is going to be very comfortable in there, and I think he's almost going to see it as kind of disrespectful that this little guy's coming up to fight him and thinks he can take his shots. So he could be looking to make a statement here. And it would be the best win on his resume, too. So it's a very important fight for Makabu. This kind of puts him on the world stage. I mean, he kind of got put on the world stage when there was that talk about him fighting Canelo, when Canelo was talking about running after a belt at cruiserweight. To be honest, that's pretty much when I heard about him. But just give me Makabu here, 8 rounds to 4 decision. But I would not be surprised at all if Badu Jack wins this. My heart's with Badu Jack to win. I don't think he can get it done at this weight class. But good luck to both fighters and enjoy the fight.